And there we are again with the second episode of Divinity. Haha, not Divinity, no, Pillars of Eternity, of course. Pillars of Eternity 1. I haven't played the second part, but I also have it, by the way. And we're still in the character creation, creating our priest. I think at least I will play a priest. The last time I was doing this, I spent some time in the screen to see what I want and what is fitting my character a bit more. I think I want a priest, but I definitely want someone who can heal. And from what I can see so far, it is more like creating some kind of auras. I'm not sure if he's a pure healer, but we stick to him right now. So we have a few deities we can choose. And you can see, guys, that depending on what I'm choosing here, we get different dispositions. Also with this character, what he likes to do, what he dislikes. And I will try to use one that is more for the healing part. We have Bereth, called Bereth in Adirian, and Sirono in Valian is the god of cycles, of doors, and of life and death itself. People commonly place or carve the figure of Bereth in doorways, windows, and other portals from one place to another. Bereth has relatively small priesthood, in part because he does not speak often to them. However, Bereth has many petitioners and occasionally followers. Favorite disposition is stoic and rational. Disfavored disposition is passionate and cruel. He basically sounds a bit more like Julianus, like the Greek god of doors and pathways. I think the god I was taking was Aethorus. We also have Magran, the god of war and fire. Scan is the god of is known as a quiet slave, and is the god of secret hatred, resentment, and violent abandon. Okay. And Veil is the god of dreams, secrets, mysteries, and revelations. As I said, I would love to read all that stuff to you guys, but it's just a lot. So I'm trying to keeping it to a minimum, basically. So Aethorus is the Adirian name of the god of light, redemption, and rebirth. While worship of Aethorus is still popular in the Adira Empire and Ceres, the faith is outlawed in most cities of the Direward due to events of the Saint War, in which Saint Waidon, who had supposedly become a living vessel for Aethorus, attempted to invade the Direward before being destroyed at the gates of Halgoth Citadel. Aethorus had not been heard from since and is presumed dead by most. Favorite disposition, benevolent and honest. Disfavored disposition, cruel and deceptive. So that sounds pretty well to me. We can change, of course, all the standard stuff. I suppose intellect is usually... Oh god. We have a few changes here. So might is basically for damage and healing, funny enough. Okay. That makes sense because might is just not physical damage. Constitution is endurance and health, so basically how much HP we have. Dexterity is action, speed, and reflex, so basically the typical rogue skill. Perception is interrupt, accuracy, and reflex, so how much we see. Intellect, aware of effect, duration, and will. So basically, highly recommend for priests, so they help the player by also telling you, okay, what should you use? And in this case, for those skills, they tell me, yeah, you should use this. That's the skill that is helpful to you, which I really like because I have absolutely no idea what I should use here. So I really like that you can do it. So I will just basically what is this? We have okay. The stars basically that we see in this list are also just telling us what is important to us and what is more important. So with the golden star, basically that's the skills that we really should use. Resolve and dexterity are the ones that are not that important, but we should still increase them. So we like this stuff. So, and then we have culture. Oh, holy. So we have basically different backgrounds we can choose. This one gives us resolve. This one gives us dexterity, resolve, intellect, constitution, might, and perception. And of course we have many different options. It's kind of like in D&D 5, where you choose different backgrounds for what kind of human are you, what kind of dwarf are you, what kind of goblin are you, or gnome in this case. And I have no idea what I was choosing last time. I think I was choosing the Old Empire, if I'm not mistaken, but let's read the stuff. We have Adir. The Adir Empire is currently the largest and most powerful force in this part of the world. It is centered around the equator and has a tropical climate. Though the Empire has colonies in numerous areas of the world, Greater Edo is Greater Edo is at its heart a house the majority of its human and elven nations. It's okay. It is its heart and houses. Okay, English is not my native language. Deadfire, I'm not interested in this one. I remember a few that I liked more. Old Valia, once the crown of a jewel. Once the crown jewel of the southern seas, Old Valia is now the crumbled remnants of an empire of growing merchant nations. Counting many humans and dwarves among their ranks, the Old Valian countries are still forced to be reckoned with and are proud to their rich cultural heritage. Then we have Uranai, the Living Lands. The Living Lands in the mountainous region of a large northern island renowned for its diversity of plant and animal life. Its weather is unpredictable and its ecosystems vary dramatically from valley to valley. The Living Lands are home to assortment of races and variety of colonial independent settlements and the White Dead Winds. A large cracked southern expanse of a polar ice. Okay, no, that's icy. So I tend to either use Vivalia or Edir. Let's see. What do we... No, I don't... Okay. So what we need is might and intellect. Those are two main stats. So we should use one that is changing this one. So then I'm using Old Valia. Alright, are we not done? No, we're not. We have a background. So this is really D&D stuff you can see. We have aristocrat, colonist, drifter, laborer, merchant, slave, mercenary, hunter, dissident, and artist. Here again, it's changing the stats like it does in D&D. To make this thing short, I will choose the artist. That's basically what I'm doing with my real life anyway. Portrait. We have 99, so we have many of them, depending on how we want to change basically how we look like. The hat is, yeah. Just have 3, so this is one thing where I would have wished to have a bit more options. They're okay, but could have been more. Okay, but I'm happy with this. And we have a voice.
Yeah?
Now I am the leader of the group. Stand together!
Steady does it.
I'll lead the way. Charge!
Silence surrounds me.
And we also have the option to use female voices.
Yes?
So we don't.
Watch and learn.
It doesn't really fit to a priest.
No prisoners!
It definitely doesn't fit to a priest.
Shh. Yes. Yeah!
Keeping quiet.
Yeah, this one is good. Enter name, so, and to use some name that is... Do I need the first and last name? Let's keep it this way. So, and with this, finally, after the whole character creation for everyone who has skipped the intro, welcome to Pillars of Eternity. It took us a while, I tried to keep it short, but here we are. And I will try to voice all the characters, so this will be a fun thing to do. And actually my one main reason to do this on YouTube, because it makes those games a bit more entertaining for myself to have to read all the stuff. So let's see. Caravan Master Redeemer. The Caravan Master finishes addressing the group, his bushy red mustache and sagging jowls crowing as if for emphasis.
Everybody stays close to the wagons, got it? Stay out of the woods.
and beasts take you if you were planning a stroll through those ruins up there.
He nods toward a looming black mess on the hillside. It's kind of weird that a part of it is a voice and the rest is not.
Whole area's crawling with hut-dwelling types who'd be happy to stick an axe in you for trespassing. So mind that you don't track mud on their sacred blazing rocks. Tonight, everybody stays put, and in the morning we'll get the path cleared. Gilded Vale's less than a day out. Understood?
At last, the caravan master turns to you, frowning as he looks you over.
Touch of the rumbling rot, could be. There's a stinging beetle round here, carries it. You'll be fine once it passes your innards. Unless you don't drink water, course. Which case you'll be dead in a day. There's a berry grows in these parts, small and pink, called a springberry. About the size of a fingernail. Give you cramps if you eat it, but the frontiersmen make a tea from it. Calms the insides. Should get you through the night. You might check around, see if you can find some. Meanwhile, I'll see if we can scare you up some water. I know you want to hunt before it gets much darker. But see about refilling our water first. Got a sick one here.
He nods in your direction. So, a few things are a bit weird, because this was then basically read to us, but not the first one. Adima looks over his shoulder at his assistant, a lanky, intense man named Spoffle, who carries an old sun-bleached bow. So, and then comes the stuff. I know you want to hunt before it gets much darker, but see about refilling our water first. Got a sick one here. He nods in your direction. So, that's a bit weird. Spoffle nods and slides the worn bow over his shoulder. So we have a few options what you can answer. Where would I find these berries? What are those ruins? It is dangerous out here. What are these rocks coming out of the ground? And leave. So, let's ask about these ruins first.
Nothing you won't see on half the hills of Air Glonfoth. Money to be made selling their knickknacks in Defiance Bay, if you don't mind getting stuck with Glonfoth and arrows now and again. They didn't build them, but I'll be the effigy if they don't watch them like a mother bear. Of course, all the ones around here have been ransacked 10 times over. Got nothing left worth half a pawn, so I hear.
Okay, so we get a tutorial. Your character's attributes, skills, class, race, culture, and sex may all open up options for you in dialogue. These options are not necessarily superior to the other responses, but give you a wider variety of choices to select from. The manner in which someone responds to your choice depends on their individual personality and attitude. So, where would I find these berries?
They grow on a bush that's common round here, kind of funny looking. You'll know it when you see it. Doubt you'd have to go far off the road to find one.
Okay, who did build the ruins?
Got different names for them. Settlers called them Ingwithans. Nobody that liked them enough to stop them becoming ruins, tell you that much.
That's probably true, yeah. Okay, it is dangerous out here. I assume it is.
Not if you hurry about your business.
That's a nice way to say, yes, but only if you're stupid. Which I assume we are.
And not if the weather holds up.
Okay, there's a concern in his tone, but he does not elaborate. So it has something to do with the weather too, it seems. What kind of weather do they get out here?
This time of year? Rain, mostly, and wind. But there's a different kind of wind out here time to time. Locals call it a beawick, born out of the ether, the spirit's path. Never seen it myself, never care to.
I guess that's something we will run into. What are these huge rocks coming up of the ground? These are those rocks that we have in the background, basically.
They don't got Adra where you come from? Well, it just grows up out of the ground like this. Goes deep like tree roots. Some of it all the way to the heart of the world, you believe the stories. It's more like a shell than a proper rock. Easier to work if you're a mason. Got all kinds of strange properties. Seems to have some kind of life of its own. Dies if it gets dug up. Loses its luster. Folks think it probably grew at one point or another, but not these days. The soul butchers in Defiance Bay use it for different things. I've heard tell it can hold a man's soul, but I don't care to see it. Got enough to worry about without seeing something like that.
That's probably true. So, I will go see about those berries then.
Hold on. Take someone with you. I know you're not some helpless tenderfoot, not like most of this lot. But you drop dead, I don't want to be looking for the body. Got a schedule to keep.
He scans over the travelers, resting his eyes at length on a sturdy, armor-clad woman who has spent the journey night sleeping on uneven ground without a blanket of pillow.
Kalisha. Kalisha!
The woman looks up on her own time.
He needs to find some springberries. Watch that he doesn't drop dead.
No promises.
What kind of guide says something like that?
Kind you can afford.
Don't listen to her, you're in good hands. And I pay too well, if anything. Off with you. Hayden should have supplies. See that you're equipped before you head out. We're in harsh country. Get your berries and hurry back. And if you get so much as a tickle of wind, you drop everything and you run. Something in the air tonight. If it's a Beawick, we'll shelter in the ruins. Hut dwellers be damned.
You heard the man. Let's get going before you keel over.
Okay, welcome to Pillars of Eternity. If this is your first visit to the world of Aurora, you may want to watch these windows to become familiar with the tools and interfaces available to you. Your party always consists of your character and up to 5 additional companions or adventurers. While the caravan is camped outside the Glen Fathan Urins, Odimir has assigned Kalishka to help you. Kalishka is a fighter, a class that excels at close quarter defense. Use abilities to complement your own. To select a party member, click on their selection circle, their portrait, or press the number button that corresponds to their position in the party, starting with 1 at the left. To select multiple party members, click and hold anywhere in the screen and drag the marquee over the circles of the party members you would like to include. To move selected characters, click anywhere on the screen where your cursor is a circle of 4 wedges. All selected characters will path to their corresponding position in the formation. If you see a red circle with a slash through it, you cannot walk on that part of the map. So we can choose to use some kind of formations, which then they also try to follow. When multiple party members are selected, the action bar is hidden. To see an individual character's option, select only that character. Alright, so we have 2. Oh, they also answer. Not much though. Okay, we can't use VSAD. VSAD is for those modes apparently. Don't want to do. So we have to do what? Use the users? Ah yeah, it's the standard keyboard arrow things basically we have to use. Is she following us?
Anyone need supplies? I've got sundries for sale.
No, she doesn't. Most people you encounter in the world are neutral or friendly. You can interact with them by clicking on the selection circle. Many characters will simply greet you and go on their way, but others will have larger conversations to explore. The merchant, Hirden, has a conversation that opens a store with equipment for sale. This guy. You see a man wearing simple but mostly neat clothes. He is transfixed, however, by a wrecked tear in the seam of his tunic.
Brought a whole wagon full of goods to sell, but not enough shirts for the road.
He scratches on cheek with his knuckles. It's covered with uneven stubble, as if he hasn't quite gotten used to shaving on the road.
Say, is there anything you need? I've got some basic traveling supplies for sale if you'd like to take a look.
Let's see what you got. Stores allow you to trade and sell your items for copper pieces, or items in the store's inventory. Merchants buy items from you at a greatly reduced price if you sell something. You may see it appear in the store's inventory with a much higher cost. Stores periodically refresh their inventories. Okay, that's basically the standard. What do we have? How much money do we have? See this number? So we see the price here, but I can't see what I do have. Store and retrain character. So we also can train him, but you don't have the money. Retrain. Ah yeah, I assume that just means we can reset his skill set basically. Alright, we have firewood, I suppose, and that's the money we have then. Ah, yeah. Okay, we can buy a few things. What we do have already is a giant miniature space piglet, which is worth nothing. This tiny titanic pig has an otherworldly appearance that seems to be at odds with its endearing behavior. It follows you dutifully and requires nothing in return, save companionship. Wait, what? Okay, we have a pet. We have a just call it space pet. We have a space piglet pet, for some odd reason. But from what I can see, we have nothing else. I'm not sure. Let me see. Inventory. Ah, yeah. So we have a Morning Star. This is a one. Is it one hand or two hand? The money is really long. Okay. Not if you look in a different angle. That's what she said. So Morning Star, two-handed. Yeah, why then he does not use two hands? So it is two-handed. What I would like to have instead is a shield. So let's see. Okay,
something else you need
automatically, so we have to open it again. Crossbow, greatsword, hunting bow, pike, quarterstaff, warbow, and battle axe. Oh, and a bit of more stuff. So I suppose to use a shield, heather shield, we have to use a weapon that is actually one hand. Greatsword doesn't sound like a weapon to me. That is one hand. No, it's two-handed. So we have to right-click basically on stuff to be able to see what type of weapon this is. A rapier, rod, sword, 83. The battle axe is 83. That doesn't really matter. Then use the sword. This is one-handed and damage 3 slash fun. So we make different kinds of damages. That was to be expected from a game that is basically a D&D thing. Because that's the same there, basically, depending on what kind of weapon you have, even if it's just physical damage, you do different types of damage. And this becomes important as a few creatures, enemies basically, will react or take more or less damage, depending on what kind of damage you do. So we like it. We can also... no, we can't. We have 100. We can't buy armor, but it's totally fine. We just get this one, and unfortunately, and it's a bit confusing, I can't sell him the weapon that we have here. Because, so let's... do you have transaction pending? Leave and away? Yeah. I assume to be able to sell it, I have to get it out of my character. Yes, I do. Because they told us that if
something
we trade
else you need
stuff directly, so not just selling but also buying things at the same time, well, of course the other way around, what I wanted to say, then it's cheaper. It's the direct sale, of course. Okay, it's right. So that's better. I like this a bit more. So let's see. Can we use this? Uh-oh. That's probably something I should check before buying stuff. Okay, and we also have different weapon sets, so I assume that also when we level up we get a few more, that we can change with the key stroke into different settings and stuff that we want to use. That's really cool. So with that, I would say 20 minutes over again. Thank you very much for coming in. You can see the link to the previous and hopefully also the next video when it will be released in the screen. So thank you for watching. Give me a like or commentary, or if you like what you dislike, if you want to. And until next time, bye bye.